In this installment, we're going to be going over the Week 9 early slate. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Week 9 early slate we got going on and cooking. But before we dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetSD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 10.3 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 20K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now for our previous video, we went 1 for 2 in that Thursday night game. I had the over and I had the cover of the 7.5. So 1 for 2, that's fine. And we move on. I really was questioning that cover here. The Ravens did their thing. It really was the Miami Dolphins offense that kept faltering for that over not to hit. Every time they were moving the ball, fumbles, killed 2 drives that were about to score some points, and they missed the field goal. So that's fine. We move on from that. We went 1 for 2, and now for the Patreon, you guys have been missing out. We've been dominating so far this week. Early wins for Saturday with Texas and Duke plus 3.5. That cashed. The day before yesterday, as you can see here, we had the 2-leg parlay, just simple points, rebounds, assists for Jalen Johnson and Luka Doncic. That came through rather easily for both of those guys. We had Lakers, and they were down. At halftime, they were down by like 18. They came back and won the game. I hopped on that live line with the boost plus 8.5, and that cashed. And then one of my main plays was the Dodgers on the money line, and that cashed as well. So if you want more winning plays, join this community that you see down below. If you click that link, you're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. Remember, I already posted the Super Bowl future, the NBA Finals future will be coming out in a week and a half. Okay, in MetLife Stadium here, we have the New York Giants 2-6 going up against the San Francisco 49ers 5-3. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have 49ers as road favorites minus 150 with the comeback of the Giants at a plus 125. Total at 48.5. Spread at 2.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, we have the money line San Francisco 49ers 80% of the bets, 64% of the money coming in on the 49ers. For the total, 75% of the bets, 64% of the money coming in on the under 48.5. And then for the spread, 64% of the bets, 64% of the bets, to the Giants to cover, and then Giants for the 49ers to cover, and then 53% of the money coming in on the Giants here. So sharps and public are split down the middle on the spread, but heavily on the side of the money line here is pretty much everyone on the 49ers. All right, now looking at these injury reports here, both of these teams come in really hampered. Paulson Adebo is out. Daniel Bellinger, backup tight end, out. Jermaine Eliminor, O-lineman, out. Cordell Flott out. That's 2 starting corners. 3 corners. Art Green is out. Chauncey Golston out, the lineman. So this is a really decimated secondary. But hey, 49ers are dealing with their own issues. No Ricky Pearsall. Probably, most likely, no Brock Purdy as well. They're probably going to sit him out again with that turf toe. Jake Brendel, center, out. We have Gross Matos out again. This is like 3rd week in a row. Bryce Huff out again. That's 2 weeks in a row. Jawan Jennings is going to be the number 1 wide receiver here. Kittle's back. So at least you have those weapons to go alongside Christian McCaffrey. You have those 3 guys. You're pretty good offensively. And the 49ers should be in a really good spot here. Ricky Pearsall, like I said, he's out. Everyone else seems to be fine for the 49ers. And the key component for the 49ers, you got Trent Williams right there. There's a stud tackle. He is fine as well. Okay, so this game here, we had some horrible news last week with Cam Scatterbo, one of the sparks here for the Giants offense. Him and Jackson Dart, they were a nice little tandem. Dart is going to have to rely on Tyrone Tracy here. Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, 2 guys that are definitely somewhat reliable here. But looking at this Giants defense going up against this San Francisco 49ers offense, Mac Jones has been really impressive this year in the absence of Brock Purdy. And he has a really good matchup here. Giants 24th yards, passing yards allowed per game, and 30th rushing yards allowed per game. So Christian McCaffrey here, if they get this run game going, they can work off that. That would definitely benefit Mac Jones and get him away from throwing the ball every single down. And you get to create with CMC in that pass game as well. Both avenues seem really, really fruitful here for the 49ers. After the Giants had that nice little, couple wins there against Philly and the Chargers, they have struggled against New Orleans, Denver, they gave up that game, and then Philly spanked them there. 49ers trying to bounce back from that loss against Houston. Houston's defense is pretty elite. Giants defense is the complete opposite. I expect the 49ers to bounce back in this spot. All right, so main play here will be the 49ers on the money line because it's nice and low. Secondary play will be 49ers to cover the 2.5. Love 49ers to take advantage of this weak secondary, plus the fact that this is one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. All right, so 49ers money line, 49ers to cover as the secondary play. In Paycor Stadium here, we have the Cincinnati Bengals 3-5 going against the Chicago Bears 4-3. Looking at the odds for this matchup here, AFC versus NFC, Bears coming in as road favorites, -155 on the money line with the comeback of the Bengals at a +130, total at 51.5, and we have the spread at 2.5. All right, public bet percentage here for this one. Looking at the money line, we have 58% of the money coming in on Chicago, 53% of the money coming in on the Bengals. Sharps and public are split on that one. For the total, 70% of the bets coming in on the under 51, 62% of the money coming in on the under 51.5. So slight movement, Sharps slightly on that over. Very, very, very a little bit of movement from what we saw from. Oh wow, that is. I was waiting. There you go. Live. Solo home run, Miguel Rojas, and the Dodgers tie the game. Insane. Then I knew it was coming. And if you ever watch a Dodgers game, you know that you only pay attention to innings 7, 8, and 9. They could be down. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. 7, 8, or 9, they're going to be making some weird comeback, and they take the lead. It happens all season long. All right, they did it last year. That's the only way you got value on the team, is betting them in the back 5 innings. That's how you do it. They just tied the game right there. Man, it's looking like we're going to extra innings. We'll see. But looking at the spread, 59% of the bets, 58% of the money on the Bengals to cover this number at 2.5. Injury report here. Chicago Bears, Luther Burden out, Roshan Johnson out, Dominique Robinson out, DeAndre Swift out, Amen Agban-Biga is going to be out as well. So they're missing a lot of guys here. Kyle Monangai, running back, rookie, from Rutgers, will be starting for DeAndre Swift. So if you're doing DFS or you're betting him, he's definitely in a good spot against the Bengals. For the Bengals defense, Trey Hendrickson is going to be out, their leader on the D-line. That's a big loss. Logan Wilson, doubtful. Marco Wilson, cornerback, doubtful. And everyone else should be fine here. Positive news is that Joe Flacco will play. All right, so that is a big boost to the receiving core, to the whole team here. You got Joe Flacco. He's going to be able to distribute that football, and we can definitely have a interesting conversation with this game, because the Bears have literally had one of the worst defenses in the league, almost literally as bad as the Bengals. All right, so this game here, I'm creeping towards the over. We got positive news on the quarterback, so I love the Bengals as underdogs. If you can find a +3, take it. So I'm going to say Bengals +3 is the top play. Secondary play will be the over on the 51.5. Flacco coming back in the fold with these bad defenses here. Caleb in a good spot as well. Points. Love this one here between the Bengals and the Bears. So top play +3 on the Bengals. Secondary play over 51.5 on the total. In Ford Field here, we have the Detroit Lions 5-2, Minnesota Vikings 3-4. Looking at the current odds for this one, we have Minus 500 on the Lions as home favorites with the comeback of the Vikings at a plus 375. Total at 48, spread at 9. Looking at the public bet percentage here for this one, very heavily on the side here of Detroit. 96% of the bets, 97% of the money all over Detroit on the money line. For the total, 72% of the bets, 68% of the money here. Yo, these Toronto fans, they need to stop. They go crazy off of any little. Oh man, wow. On the total, 72% of the bets, 68% of the money on the under 48. For the spread, 85% of the bets here, 80% of the money on Detroit Lions to cover this number in the division game. All right. Injury report here: CJ Ham out, Jeff Okudah out, Josh Oliver out. So some major loss on Jeff Okudah. He's being out with a concussion. Josh Oliver's a backup. CJ Ham is just their fullback here. Question marks on anyone else? We got JJ McCarthy playing. Andrew Van Ginkel's back. He's been out for a couple weeks here. He's coming back in the fold. And you got Christian Darrisaw back as well. So this line is looking a little bit healthier here with JJ McCarthy back. And that should be a positive for him. This is a homecoming, all right? Don't forget, JJ McCarthy played in Michigan, all right? This game is in Detroit, all right? So Detroit Lions here in their injury report. Kirby Joseph is out. Craig Reynolds out, backup running back. Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker, out. Daniel Thomas, safety, out. So they still dealing with those secondary issues here for the Detroit Lions, even though they have been playing much better football as of late. All right. Now, looking at this matchup here. Looking at what we've seen from the Lions in the last couple games, they dominated against Tampa Bay, lost against Kansas City, and had good outings against Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Minnesota reeling a little bit, losing 3 out of their last 4 games, and now this is an in-division matchup here, and you got a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. The only positive here is going to be this Vikings defense. If they're going to have an opportunity to stay in this game, it's going to have to come down to this defense and Brian Flores scheming against Jared Goff, who is a immobile quarterback. All right, so that's going to be their avenue to keep this game close. Hopefully, J.J. McCarthy can provide some splash plays, utilize his dangerous wide receivers to take apart this secondary that is weak. All right, because you really can't run on this Detroit Lions D line here. They're 4th in the league. Their weakness is against the pass. It's going to have to be McCarthy making some big plays, okay? But ultimately here, I do think that this game will stay close. Hopefully we can get away from turnovers for what we've seen from Carson Wentz. And this is an in-division matchup here. These two teams usually play each other pretty tough. So give me the +9 as the main play on the Vikings. Secondary play will be the over 48, but I like the Vikings to keep this close in division matchup. I think 9 points is a little bit too much here in this spot. In Lambeau Field here, we have the Green Bay Packers 5-1-1 going up against the Carolina Panthers 4-4. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Packers as -900 on the money line with the comeback of the Panthers at a +600, total at 44, spread at 13. All right, public bet percentage here, checking in with the money line, 96% of the bets, 90% of the money on the Green Bay to win. For the total, 63% of the bets, 66% of the money on the over on the total. And for the spread, we have 68% of the bets, 63% of the money on Green Bay to cover the 13 as well. All right, now, injury report here for the Packers. We have Nick Neiman, the linebacker, out. Lucas Van Ness out yet again. He's been out a couple weeks here. Dontavian Wicks is going to be out as well at the wide receiver position. That's fine because they got back Christian Watson. Watson had a pretty solid game 1 coming back from that torn ACL. Had 4 catches, 84 yards. Really looked explosive. So great outing him. You're going to probably see an increase of snaps coming his way as well, since no one stepped up as the wide receiver 1 here for the Green Bay Packers. All right, Watson pretty much comes back into his old spot. All right, for the Panthers here, Andy Dalton questionable. Cade Mays is out. Princely, linebacker, will be out as well. All right, so they're missing their center and linebacker here. A couple Q tags on Taylor Moton. That could be big, so definitely wait out for him. And then Trevin Wallen's Q tag, their linebacker as well. Bryce Young is fine for this game here against the Packers. All right, I think they're going to be overwhelmed in this spot here. A lot of indecisiveness here and mediocreness from the Panthers offense when it comes to road games here. They're not facing the Jets in this one where they took advantage of that road game. This one is a little bit different here when we're talking about the Green Bay Packers and their rush defense, which is top 3 in the league, going against a team that runs the football with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. If they can get that corralled up, then we can force Bryce Young into some spots that they can turn him over, because along with that run defense, their pass D is pretty good as well. Top 15 in the league in that scenario as well. All right, Packers already on a 3-game winning streak, beating the Bengals, Arizona, and Pittsburgh coming back home in this spot here. Carolina taking advantage of lesser competition here. Miami, Dallas, and the Jets getting blown out by Buffalo. And I see things very similar here in this spot here. So give me the Packers top play minus 13. If I'm going with a total, I'm going to go under 44 in the total, okay? I think that the Packers can score on the Panthers, but I don't see the Panthers putting up points against this Packers defense here. All right, so we're going to go with the top play. Packers minus 13 and total under 44 in this spot. In Nissan Stadium here, man. Tennessee Titans 1-7. Los Angeles Chargers 5-3 in this pretty ugly matchup we got going on. Looking at the odds, Chargers minus 9.5 as road favorites. Titans plus 9.5 on the spread. Total at 44. Money line minus 550 for the Chargers. Come back on the Titans at plus 425. Looking at the public bet percentage here, starting off with the money line, 97% of the bets, 98% of the money all over the Chargers. For the total, 53% of the bets, 64% of the money all over the over of 44. And for the spread, 89% of the bets, 89% of the money on the cover for the Chargers on the minus 9.5. If we're looking at this injury report here, Mekhi Becton looks like he's going to be back in his game. He's questionable. The only outs here, Hassan Haskins here, backup running back, and Tony Jefferson, safety, and Tarheeb Still, their corner, will be out. Okay, so they're missing some key guys here. Positive news will be that offensive line with Mekhi Becton. Definitely, with the injuries that they already have, they really need to reassure that line if they're going to go back to this run game. Obviously, Vidal has been looking really, really excellent here the last couple weeks with Amari Hampton out. All right, Tennessee Titans here. Arden Key, one of their lead linebackers, out. Calvin Ridley out. Jeffrey Simmons out. So they're missing Arden Key, missing the heart of your defense, and Jeffrey Simmons. Xavier Woods, free safety, out as well. So they're really hampering on that defensive end. This does not look good already. We got a Chargers team that's already cooking, playing much better football. They had a tough spot against the Colts, and then they saw Minnesota. That was a surprising domination there against Brian Flores, and hopefully that little stretch where they struggled against the Giants, Washington, I hope they put that behind them and they get back in their winning ways. I see them bouncing back here, taking advantage of a very porous Titans team here and Titans defense that is 26th against running backs here. And I think that Harbaugh and Kamani Vidal on this offensive line is going to get going. Give me the Chargers as the top play, minus 9.5. Secondary play in this one will be the, I think, under 44. But top play will be Chargers minus 9.5. In the Gillette Stadium here, we have the New England Patriots 6-2 going up against the Atlanta Falcons 3-4. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have Patriots as home favorites minus 250 with the Falcons on the comeback at a plus 200. Total at 45, spread at 5. So this spread is coming down. I believe this was at like a 6 and a 5.5, and it's coming down very slightly here. Now at a 5 for these two teams here, in a red hot Patriots team as well. Looking at the public bet percentage, Starting off with the money line, 93% of the bets, 92% of the money on the side of New England. For the total, 56% of the bets, 59% of the money on the over 45. And for the spread, 73% of the bets coming in on New England to cover. But we have 54% of the money coming in on the New England to cover. So sharps are leaning more on the side of Atlanta to cover this +5. All right. So that you see that change there from 73 to 54. Sharps on the Atlanta on the road in this one. Looking at the injury report here, Storm Norton, lineman, out. Billy Bowman Jr. out, the DB. Casey Washington, wide receiver, out. Zach Harrison, D lineman, out. For the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson out. This gives the Trevion Henderson a start at the running back. Definitely, they've been waiting for him. They paid a lot of high draft capital for him, so he gets an opportunity here. So looking at this team, despite the fact how good the Patriots have been the last couple weeks here, it was a 5-game winning streak. Beating Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, a lot of bums. They won one tough game, was Buffalo. Other than that, literally, they've been taking under 500 teams here. I get it. The Falcons technically are under 500. They're under 500. Yeah, they're under 500, but this is a much better team than what we've seen. And then last week was a Kirk Cousins start, so that was a wash. All right, and this defense has been pretty strong. And as you see, if we go into that injury report, their D linemen and their main D linemen like Floyd and their rookie here are going to be back into the fold for the Falcons. All right, so. First against passing yards, all right, and that's where if they can stop Drake May, all right, that's gonna bode well for them. But they do give up a lot of rushing yards here, all right. 22nd in the league against rushing yards allowed, 126.4. So this could be a breakout spot for Trevion as well. I do see points in this one. Michael Penix coming back. I think that we can get a back and forth type of environment here. It's going to come down to the last possession, and ultimately I like the points with the Falcons. I think they can play tough with this Patriots team. This is going to be one of the tougher teams the Patriots have faced in the last 4 weeks. All right, going back to that Bills game. All right, Falcons are that tough, and I like that +5 as the main play on Atlanta. Secondary play will be over 45 in the total. They're going to have some tough assignments, especially on the offensive side, to deal with Bijan and Drake London. That's going to really give this defense here and the Patriots some problems that definitely have been susceptible against other passing offenses here. So +5 Falcons, secondary play over 45. In Acrisure Stadium here, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers 4-3 going up against the Indianapolis Colts here 7-1. Looking at the odds here, Colts -3.5 on the money line with the comeback of the Steelers at a 3.5. Money line -185, come back on the Steelers at a +150, total at 51. Looking at the public bet percentage here, we have 86% of the bets, 81% of the money all over the Colts. For the total, 74% of the bets here, 58% of the money on the under 51. And for the spread, 73% of the bets, 60% of the money for the Colts to cover this number at 3.5. All right, now for the injury report here, Samson Ebukam, their D lineman, is going to be out of this one. Anthony Gold, wide receiver, is going to be out as well. Everything else should be fine here for the Colts, who have been one of the top teams, period, in this league here so far this season. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, Scott Miller is going to be out. Chuck Clark, DB illness, is going to be out. Corey Trice Jr., DB out. This is already a poor secondary. They're missing some key safeties and backup cornerbacks as well. Jabril Peppers is going to be out. Cole Holcomb, linebacker, is going to be out with an illness. So we have Darius Slay and obviously their other cornerback that are still starting are fine, but they have been very subpar so far this season, and that's really been their weakness. This defense that they paid up so much for with Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay, it just has not panned out as of right now, and there's been a lot of issues here. And now they're going up against a well-oiled machine here in the Colts, and it doesn't look good at all. All right, as you can see, 32nd passing yards allowed per game. This is literally the worst pass defense in the league, and this should be a good game here, a good spot for Daniel Jones. All right, not to mention that they're also giving up significant amount of yards here rushing wise, and as you know, Jonathan Taylor has been on a LaDainian Tomlinson type of run now, getting multi-touchdown games here. So phenomenal performances from him. They got a well-oiled machine going here with the pass and run offense here for the Colts. I think that things are just too good here for the Colts, and I think they steamroll the Steelers in this one. Give me the Colts minus 3.5 on the spread. For the total, I'm going to go as a secondary play over 51. I think they can put up some points here. It forces Aaron Rodgers to get out of his comfort zone and throw that football here, get away from the pass. Get away from the run here with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, and we get another. You know what? We got two major overs the last 2 weeks. We get a lot of overs between these two teams. I'm gonna go under. I think the Colts defense stymies the Steelers. So main play stays Colts minus 3.5. Total will be under 51. Under 51. I'm going with the total. In NRG Stadium here, we have the Houston Texans 3-4 going against the Denver Broncos 6-2. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, Texans home favorites minus 140 with the comeback of the Broncos at a plus 118. Total at 40.5. Spread at 2.5. Public bet percentage here. Looking at the money line, we have 73% of the bets, 85% of the money all over Denver. For the total here, 67% of the bets, 91% of the money all over the over. And for the spread, 82% of the bets, 82% of the money all over Denver to cover. This is your classic public dog. These are spots I 100% go with the favorite in the home team. We fade these public dogs. This is ridiculous. 78 over 80% across the board, pretty much. Looking at the injury report here, Texans. We have Elijah Huzzie out, cornerback. He was out for the last 2 weeks. And then Jacob Johnson, fullback, he's out. For the Broncos, we got PJ Locke out, Marvin Mims out, Patrick Surtain out. So they're missing their number one corner here, and that's going to bode well for this the wide receiver core for the Texans. They get back Nico Collins, their number one wide receiver, super explosive. And they get back Christian Kirk, who finally is going to get an opportunity to play. Nico Collins against Riley Moss is a huge mismatch. Riley Moss has been picked on. Even last year, you've seen games where they just pick on Riley Moss. He's a solid corner, but definitely weaker when you got Pat Surtain on the other end, and he's going to be out of this game. That is a major, major loss. You see Vegas set this line with Houston, and we're going to be all over Houston in this one. This is a clear-cut one for me. Public dog, we fade. They put this as they set this line on purpose, and I'm not falling for the bait. All right, so Texans, give me the Texans on the money line here. For the total, I'm going to go under 40.5. Texans defense is no joke, and I think they can have Bo Nix and some issues here and stop that run game as well. All right, so Texans money line, secondary play will be under 40.5 on the total. So that's going to be our slate here for the week 9 early slate here. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We could definitely debate about that one down below. If you guys want to sign up for that Patreon and have the plays for Sunday, get ready here. You click on that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.